Hello, this is Lorena, and I'm back with another Dylan's video. I actually just got done titling my last video, and I actually had a dream once where I was approached by Cube. I was probably much older than he usually goes for, but let's be honest, after the last video, I think he'd probably find it worth it to go after someone at my age. I mean, I know the universe rules. It's like the older you are, the less powerful witch you have. But I'm not really sure if that applies to me because one, Kyobei doesn't exist here, and two, is kind of I just don't really think that there's any way for me to know exactly. But I had a dream that he approached me for a contract, and I told him my wish, and he couldn't grant it. Someone stopped him from granting the wish. And I mean, while we're on the topic of probably not something Kyubei would do, I don't think my dreams gives two shits about what's established in the universe because I was stopped from contracting. But I wasn't just stopped from contracting. Kyubei couldn't grant my wish. He was stopped but from granting it forcefully. And he was like, "What?" And that was very interesting because that wouldn't be possible in the actual universe of that general it wouldn't be possible in the usual setting because that's just not how Madoka Magica works in the series itself. I don't normally do this, but if he doesn't have a hand trap, then I win. Oh my god. I don't really have to be an idiot. I think I can activate that from my hand. But I still want to know if I can take him out with it. If not, I can just use that card in my hand. I win! Okay. But yeah, in my dream, Kyubei was unable to grant my wish. It wasn't something that would be possible within the rules of the actual series. I mean, the actual world, but the fact he was physically stopped was pretty interesting. I know that's not possible, but when I really think about it, it was like, wow. I was definitely, I was sort of stopped like Hamura tried to stop Madoka, but it was taken a step further in my dream where Kyubei couldn't even grant the wish to begin with. Oh, I'm not just dealing with normal karma now. Now I'm dealing with Supreme King Jaden karma. Okay, to be fair, I do deserve it. Alright, well, I'm going to be honest. It seems like he bricked. I did not brick, so you know what? I'm going to destroy you. I only respect victory. Okay, that's just what Zane says. I don't respect just victory. I respect other things, like my opponent in most cases. I mean, Zane actually normally, also, does he have a hand trap? Is he even using the Supreme King's deck? I'm not convinced, but the fact he summoned nothing does have me slightly convinced. Slightly convinced just because he didn't summon anything. That's hilarious. Oh my god. Okay. Well, in all fairness, I was just talking about how Kyubey was stopped from granting my wish. It's actually a pretty interesting, it was a pretty interesting dream, and it's one of my favorites. It's one of my favorites for a reason, but I think if I tried to talk about why, it would sound like weird shit. And it is weird shit, but listen. I do interact with spirits. I legitimately do. And one of them was in my dream and stopped Kyubey from granting my wish. But the reason that wouldn't have been possible is because I don't think you can actually stop Kyubey from granting a wish once the magical girl has actually stated what the wish is. I think that it's impossible to stop that. But also, for bonus points, the spirit that stopped Kyubey was a man. And Kyubey is... Well, I don't know what the deal is, but Kyubey only grants wishes from magical girls, and I don't know if he counts trans people, which is another problem, because do you only count women that... Do you only count young girls that identify as girls, or do you only... I don't even know. I just don't respect Kyubey at all. Just the whole exclusion that magical boys can't contract with him. But then there's also but then someone did bring up a counterpoint that maybe magical boys just make weaker witches, and maybe they're just not as effective, which seems to be what he said in the series from what little I remember. But that may be the case, but what if someone that's male-bodied is actually trans? Can that person see Kyubey? Well, I don't know, and we'll probably never know, because Japan is Japan. And, I mean, I love Japan, but it has its flaws, just like every other culture. And one of its main flaws is it's kind of behind the times. I'm not saying this to be mean, but it is. And Japan is talking about its low birth rates, but Japan, do your citizens have enough time to actually, you know what I'm saying, right? Do they have enough time for that? To actually address the youth issue in your country? I mean, I know that your norms are different from Americans, but I don't think it's normal when you expect people to be at work a lot, but then you complain when there's not enough young people. I think there's something you need to consider here, but that's just me. I'm an outsider. I know that you probably do not appreciate my opinion, but while you may not believe my opinion, I do think that it's I don't really think it's healthy for you to have a culture that had to make up a vocabulary word just because people from your culture die from overwork. If there are people in your country that die from being overworked, you had to make a vocabulary word for this. I don't think that's a good sign if you're going to start complaining about no birth rates. If the youth birth rates aren't high enough, you might want to consider why. Just saying. I'm definitely not in the position where I can speak for you, but I mean, the United States is starting to catch up. I'm going to be honest. I mean, the United States seems to think that everyone should just dedicate their lives to their job. And I'm just like, why? But why am I even surprised? I mean, the United States clearly doesn't care about the well-being of its own people. And I'm speaking about the government. I thought I was done with this topic, but then I had to go into Japan's low birth rates. And now I'm back here. But I do have my reasons for going into this shit. And the reasons basically amount to, well, shit's broken, man. And me feeling like a global outcast, I don't feel like I'd fit in anywhere. If I don't fit in America, there is no hope for me anywhere else. I'm not going to go to Australia, no offense, Australians, but I think that it's probably too hot over there, just saying. And also, I just don't really want to go there because I think that I would be terrified. I think that I can appreciate your culture from afar without dying. I mean, I do imagine I probably would die if I went there and just knew nothing about Australian culture. All I know is stereotypes because 4Kids decided that stereotypes was a good way to characterize a character. Thank you, but I don't think that having a crocodile strapped to your back is justification for stereotyping. Just my opinion, but I do like accents, so there's that. Except for some accents. I don't like the stereotypical Southern accent, but I don't know. I rewatched GX and I could tolerate it. But I guess because it wasn't as bad as I remember. But, I mean, that doesn't mean it's not still true. Meanwhile, the dub is still set in Japan, and Dr. Crawler is like, Jesse is just Jaden, but with a southern accent. Okay, but this is still a Japanese setting, so we need to clarify what you mean by southern accent, Dr. Crawler. He meant southern U.S., I know, but still, that's because I'm in the South, so I know this. That's why I hate the stereotype, because of the fact that I am... what did I just do? Oh, hold on a second. I just switched to my writing program, which is open even though I haven't done anything in it for days. I cannot do anything that is actually... Oh my god, man. Hold on. Oh my god, why? I wish I could fix this, but I can't. Wait a minute. I just did. I think. Well, I know some things had to... Maybe I didn't fix it. Okay, well, maybe I did. Special summon the designated monsters. Select the cards to target. Here's Cyber Dragon, and guess what I'm going to do? It's very easy for you to just guess. Select the card to banish. That's right. Attack! Okay, I'm gonna activate this effect now. I special summon my second one. Because I do have a second one. I can just attack just once with it. But that should be enough. I should never say that against Kite. If there's anyone that's going to pull a comeback victory like a protagonist, it's Kite. He has a full hand. Just look at it. I'm sure he'll do fine. Though in my head, I'm hoping he's kind of bricked too much for a comeback, but I need to hold my ego back and admit it. He probably is going to win. Ugh. I checked my ego, but I'm still kind of hoping I'd be, I don't know, I was hoping that maybe I would, you know, indulge me a little bit at least. No, that's not how this game works. That is not how this game works. That's never how this game should work. So quite frankly, I respect this decision. In any case, I have talked about a lot of the difficult truths that I've realized over the recent recent weeks. Yeah, I've realized a lot of these in recent weeks, but also recent months, recent years, etc., etc. I just don't really think that I'm a valued member of society. And sure, I can use my privilege to protect some people, but I don't think anyone would appreciate me doing that if, say, I tried doing it, but I was homeless. I mean, seriously, I might seem like a creep for trying to do it at that point. Just a lot of people judge, and it gets to me. I'm just like, can you let me live, please? And no, apparently not. But I feel like I was born on US soil and I am meant to die here. So no, I cannot just simply move. I mean, let's not even talk about the general move out. I can't even move out of the country, but I'm an adult dependent, by the way, so this means I am dependent on my mother in some capacity. I'm not dependent as in I can't do anything for myself, but I am dependent in the fact that, well, I'm still dependent financially. So there's that. So I assume this guy is milking the rest of what he has while he still has it. Which sounds just like something Jack Atlas would do. Sounds like something Reggie would do too. But, you know, it's kind of more of Jack Atlas's style. And a lot of people are probably wondering why I spell his name outright. Well, it's because, well, first of all, it's kind of a thing in the dub. I think, I haven't watched the subs, I don't know if it's a thing there yet, but it's just because, you know, at one point I'm not ready for that. No, not that discussion topic. I almost said something I would have regretted. I mean, I'm going to regret a lot of shit because of everything I have to talk about, but not now. I can wait. I have to talk about a lot of things that are just going to make me very uncomfortable, but that I feel I must discuss. Did you have this? My opponents always seem to know which cards to get rid of. And not all of them are cheating. I do know there's a skill that allows you to do that. Which by the way is cheating in one way, but it's still acceptable because the skill is allowing it. So that's what I mean. When the skill allows you to do something that's normally something you can't do. So, yeah. He doesn't even have that, but he still somehow figured out which trap to get rid of. But all of my opponents do this. I don't know how they're doing it. I might ask questions if Sartorius was doing it against me, though. I might be like, is this guy actually... No, I'm not that dumb. But seriously. I'm dead. I lost. I meant every word I said. Declan's deck deserves to be nerfed. And that is one of the duels that showcases why. Yeah, that's why I'm saying it. Because of that. But, you know, the game is acknowledging it, so I assume there were a bunch of player complaints. I'm sure a lot of them were also Japanese players, since Japan is kind of still learning the ways of valuing foreign or contribution. I mean, I can't contribute anything to Magyar record anymore because my account isn't Japanese, and I'm not sure if I want to go through the effort of trying to financially support it again. At least not yet. I will probably eventually try to go through those hoops, but not right now. But Duel Links would take my money and there would be no problems with it. But not right now. Yeah, not right now with Duel Links either. Though I have been tempted. But no. I can be financially responsible right now because I'm an adult dependent. And this gives me financially responsible privileges. Being financially responsible should never be a privilege. I'm exiting the video. The video's over. I'll be back soon.